everyone, Pastor Eric here. Welcome to this week's edition of baseCAMP. If you're new at Summit, you might be wondering, what in the world is baseCAMP? It's a little confusing right now because we have a special holiday Advent that we've been going through daily. I hope you enjoyed those. But we also meet here at baseCAMP meeting at the summit. If you were going to climb a mountain, you'd get to the top. On the way up and the way down, you'd stop at a base camp. And we do that each week to see where we were in God's Word and to where we are going in God's Word here at Summit. This last week, we talked about the Christmas sickness in a 4-week series on hopelessness, meaninglessness, loneliness, and godlessness. And last week, I zeroed in really specifically the subject of loneliness. And I have to be honest, I was overwhelmed with the response. You know, we read these stats online about the state of people's mental health. And then when these stats become souls, it gets real quick. So be encouraged, because I believe in each of you that have been, facing this loneliness in this isolation season brought on by, a pandemic, nothing that we all would ever plan for, that God is shifting this into a spiritual practice of solitude. If you haven't watched the message, we went through very specifically a few parts in Jesus' life where he withdrew, where he was in isolation, where we could quantify it is, a symbol or a shape or a shadow of being alone. And I want to encourage you, when Jesus says to come away by yourself to a desolate place in Mark chapter 6 at verse 30, he's speaking about a place that is uninhabited. So find that space. I know it's difficult, but what I love about the way that God shows us, both in the physical reality and in the spiritual reality, you can carry that portable sanctuary of your heart. So when you're out there in an urban situation, downtown in a city, or out in the country, those are all places that loneliness can show up. And in that season, don't be afraid to invite Jesus into that moment. Loneliness is really just, an opportunity to be intentional with an invitation. And when you do that, you actually, practice this spiritual practice that we talked about called solitude. So this week, my challenge for you is in these desolate places, whether that be internally, emotionally, it's desolate, or actually you're in the middle of a field where the corn has all been pulled out. Whatever the case may be, if this is something where you find yourself desolate and lonely, come away by yourself and invest that time with God. Practice solitude in that invitation, and you'll see the switch happen as it's already happened for so many people here at Summit as we journey to invite God in those moments. This next week, we are talking about meaninglessness. And there's this question, why? If you start asking the question why, you eventually get to the spot where you could have what is called an existential crisis. It's this budding of these ideals that really all of a sudden go, why do I really believe this? Why do I think this? I need to go to work. Why? To get a paycheck. Why? So I could, pay my bills. Why? So I don't get called by collectors, or I don't ruin my credit, or I feed my family. Well, why? Because they matter. Because why? And then you keep going down this line of questioning, and you will find at the baseline of it all, truth, security, love, and wonder show up. Truth, security, love, and wonder is really these 4 ingredients that bring meaning. And there's one place that you can find them all. We're going to journey through a couple different worldviews, a couple different ways to look at the world in those places. But I would submit to you this Sunday that there's only one place that you can find truth, security, love, and wonder all wrapped up in one place. So if you are dealing with this Christmas sickness, asking yourself why, struggling finding meaning in life itself, we'll see you at the summit.